Hey, what's up, my cochinos and cochinas? I'd like to welcome you back to another video. Today, we're not going to be doing any mukbang, gangbang, finger bang. We're not going to do our thing. We're going to be sipping some water, and I'm going to tell you about the time that I got locked up, but I got released because I fucked my way free. Now, you can entertain it in your mind or think of it in your mind however you want to, but you're going to have to listen to the story to realize, what it was or how I accomplished this. If you're locked up watching this, or if you're planning on getting locked up and you want to know how to get free, then, you're going to want to watch this video. So, before I get into that, I just want to give a shout out to all my subscribers. Got over 5,000 now. On our way to 10,000, we'll be there. But just wanted to thank everybody for the support. Appreciate it. Thank you for dealing with me with all the variations of videos that I have going on. You know what I mean? I like to give you guys variety, but at the same time, I'm the big homie, and I know you guys want to hear the stories. You guys, want to hear the life shit. You know what I mean? So you might be wondering why I'm not eating. Some of you already know that I've been doing a little bit of some intermittent fasting. All that means is I skip breakfast and shit. You know what I mean? You might be wondering why. The main reason is because your boy always grubs all the fucking time, and sometimes you need to, kick back and take a break and shit. So that's pretty much the reason. That's the reason for my not having any food. I'll have some food later. We'll get into that. All right. So let's go ahead and get to the backlog of the story. So back in about 2004, I was around like 22 years old, right? I was out and about, just running the streets, being young, dumb, full of sperm and shit like that, you know what I mean? So I was out and about, running the streets, doing my thing. And I was like, hey, you know what would be a good plan? Let's go to this clothing store, bro, and let's do a run, you know what I mean? Let's go get a bunch of clothes and shit, but we'll just run out with that shit, you know what I mean? So I decided to hit up this store called Marshall's, and we decided to do a clothing run. So, we went in there, grabbed a basket. Right when I walked in, I already had people fucking watching me and shit, you know what I mean? Walked in there with the bandana on and shit, looking like how I look, you know what I mean? That came out kind of weird. Looking how I look, they were already all up on me. So anyways, filled the basket with clothes, ended up running out the back door. But as soon as I ran out the back door, like there was a little bit of, it didn't just swing open, you know what I mean? There was like some resistance on the other side. But the resistance kind of dissipated. Sorry for the big words. So pretty much there was somebody on the other side of the door, and they had their foot on the door, I guess. And as I pushed out, they backed up. So there wasn't as much in the way, should I say. So I ran out, busted out that motherfucker, scooped up the clothes, you know what I mean? My homie was right there with the car ready to go, and I looked at these fools, and I guess there was some type of loss prevention from the store, and they were like, put the clothes down, and I just looked at them like, the fuck, and just jumped in the car and bounced out, right? So it was all good, you know what I mean? Those fools didn't touch me. They didn't try to run after me. I guess they thought that they would use their verbal judo and try to get me to surrender, or at least drop the clothes, right? So that didn't happen. So we was mobbing, right? We're like, all right, cool, we got plenty of fits. Let's get ready. We'll go hit the club tonight, you know what I mean? There's a lot of activity going on around here. What the fuck? So anyways, we did that. We got away. We thought we got away. So what had happened was about halfway home, my boy ended up getting pulled over. And I was like, fool, I told you to slow down, bro. You know what I mean? He's like, bro, I'm going 35. I was like, yeah, but we're in a school zone and shit. They're going to get you for any reason. So he got pulled over. My boy was white, you know what I mean? So I don't think they pulled him over because of his race. I think it's just he was going 35 and a 25, and they don't fuck around in school zones. So he actually got pulled over by a school district police, you know what I mean? One of the police officers that works for the school to protect the school or whatever, but they're regular cops, you know what I mean? They could pull over whoever. So they ended up pulling us over. He was like, license, registration, and he gave him that. And then he came back, and I was like, all right, I pulled you over, right? He's like, yeah, because I was going 35 in a school zone. He's like, yeah, that's why I pulled you over. He's like, but at the same time, I got a call on my radio that described your vehicle, that you guys had just did a theft in the area at this one store. And we just denied it up and down. And he's like, okay. He's like, well, why do you have all the clothes in the back of the car if you guys didn't do that? And we were like, we're going for a long trip to Lake Tahoe, and we, want to make sure that we're fitted and ready to go. And he's like, do you have a receipt for the clothes? And we're like, no, we've had these clothes for a long time. He's like, wow, there's a bunch of tags on them. So he told us to get out the vehicle. Pretty much got locked up. And that's, you would think, oh, cool, you'll be released and shit like that. So I get to jail. My people were like, you got to program up. So, I did what I had to do. But then I ended up beating this fool's ass and getting more time for assault. So they ended up sending me to a longer stay. So I had to stay in there for about 1.5 years. They sent me to a DVI. And, excuse me, I feel like I'm going to sneeze. So, I was at DVI doing my time. And there's this correctional officer, right? Correctional officer, female. And she looked like kind of like a dyke and shit. She wasn't even that good looking, like a butch dyke or whatever. And she used to act tougher than the dudes, you know what I mean? She would be kind of disrespectful. And the thing about like correctional officers, like when you're in prison and shit, it's kind of like a mutual respect that needs to happen, you know what I mean? They're in there to do their job, you know what I mean? And then we're in there to do our time. So we kind of have a mutual respect of, you're doing your job, I'm doing my time, let's keep it like that. Not like them looking down on us or us necessarily looking down on them, you know what I mean? You can, there are some inmates that are like, fuck the COs, and then there's some COs who are like, fuck the inmates, you know what I mean? Like they disrespect. But generally, you want to keep it at a mutual respect. So, but this, bitch, whatever, and I'm not saying bitch because she's a female, because the way that this person acted made them a bitch, all right? That disclaimer out the way. All right, so I was acting like a bitch to everybody, you know what I mean? Like unnecessary violation of our rights, you know what I mean? And I don't mean like violation, don't think all sexual and shit like that. I just mean she constantly would cause searches in our cells and shit like that, or making sure that we're locked down and don't get to go out during rec time and shit like that. So she was annoying as fuck. And it was kind of like a common, not a common thing, but like a well-known thing that the COs that acted the toughest, like they had shit going on, you know what I mean? Like you must have been picked on in high school, or there's some other reason, maybe your dad was always in prison, and I don't know, you're projecting some shit that you got going on in your life. So, I did about 6 months. And I was just fucking eager to get out of there, bro. And I was like, I got to get out of there, homie. I got to get back in the real world, make my money, get some pussy. You know what I mean? Just get out there, do my thing, you know what I mean? So I came up with a plan. This was like a well thought out, beautiful plan, you know what I mean? Like your boy Bob Ross, I think that's his name, the one that used to paint the little fucking paintings and shit. He had like curly hair, he looked like a hippie and shit. The fool that used to paint the birds, you know what I mean? Like he'd be painting shit, he'd be like, what the fuck is this fool doing? But it would end up being a beautiful painting. Well, that's what I did with my plan. I was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do, this is how I'm gonna get out of here. It was like well fucking detailed. I was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get this ugly bitch to like me, I'm gonna fuck her, and then I'm gonna blackmail her, and then I'm gonna get out. All right. So that was my beautifully detailed plan. Nobody else could have thought of that shit. Like, it's just so, it takes a lot of intellect to get to that level of thinking, you know what I mean? Like, if you're thinking to yourself now, like, wow, bro, like, how did you come up with that plan? Like, you do that much time, all you're constantly doing is thinking. So it's like one day it just hit me like, oh yeah, you know what I mean? I could fuck this bitch, you know what I mean? Like, and get my nut, I'm not trying to be nasty or nothing like that, but, so I came up with that well-developed plan, and so it started. So she would, come by and like checking on the cell, making sure everybody was in their cells and shit, and things were going down, we're cool, whatever. So she would come by, and I would just like, I'd give her that look or whatever, and then after a while, I think I kind of like started breaking down her walls, you know what I mean? She started getting a little softer. You could tell that this ugly dyke bitch was developing some type of feelings toward me. And I didn't even say nothing to her, you know. I just like would give her a certain kind of look so she knew, and she wouldn't get that look from anybody else up in that motherfucker because, you know, she was like rough looking. So one day she went had my cell reported so that there had to be a search on the cell, but she told the warden that she wanted to do the search herself. I mean, he didn't think nothing of it, you know what I mean? He probably in his head was like, oh, you know, she's a dyke. It's not like she's going to try to fuck the dude or nothing like that. But that's exactly what happened. She came to search my cell, and only thing she found was dick. And so it went down, and I'm sorry if, like, you know what I mean, like you're a Christian or a Muslim or, you know what I mean, or a CO and you're watching this and you're feeling like, damn, this fool's hella foul. But it went down. So it went down. That lasted like a good 20 seconds, and then she went about her business. So I kind of was like, man, you know what I mean? Like, how do I come up with the blackmail part? That's going to be hard. Like, let me go or I'll tell the warden. You know, she's not the fucking state, you know what I mean? She didn't have the ability to release me. So I had to come up with a well-devised plan to be able to blackmail her correctly. So I was like, all right, look, I was talking to her one time. I need you to help me get free. I didn't even blackmail her. I was like, I need you to help me get free. You know, she already had she knew what was going down, you know what I mean? Besides her. And I was like, you need to put me like on a work assignment. And that's pretty much what it was. I told her, I need you to help me get free, get me on a work assignment. She got me on the work assignment. And the crazy part was I was planning on escaping, but because I was doing so good on the work assignment on the job, I was like one of the #1 workers. They ended up giving me not like awards, but like recognition for doing the hard work, and they ended up letting me go free. So I like to say I fucked my way free. I'd like to think that, you know, I would have escaped and you know what I mean, I'd be like technically on the run and shit, but at the same time, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. I fucked my way free. And, you know, sometimes you got to take one for the team, you know what I mean? Sometimes you got to take one for your freedom. So, you know what I mean? I gave her the best 20 seconds of her life, and that's pretty much it. I think she's more like dykier now than she used to be. I'm not sure if it has anything to do with me and the disappointment that I gave her for those 20 seconds, but yes, I'm free. I'm glad to be free. Sometimes, like I said, you know, you gotta roll around with the wolves to be able to get back out into society, you know what I mean? So I thank you for watching the video. Subscribe if you haven't. Tell your pastor. Let me see. Tell your PO. Tell your Christian auntie about my channel. Tell somebody, you know what I mean? Like if you just see some homeless person and you give them $1 for some food, don't just do that, you know, do more than that. Be like, you know, I see you got a little Obama phone right there. Check out the homie Trejo's channel, you know what I mean? I think you can kill some time, you know, you're out here feeling stressed because the streets are rough. Go check the homie out and get some laughter in, you know what I mean? So, thank you for watching. Appreciate you. See you guys in the next one.